tonight's Random Land Frights. It's the most unique, dark, out-of-the-box, psychologically terrifying, creative, and day or night, amazing-looking haunt I've ever been to. And we're back at Haunted Overload in New Hampshire, which is terrifying looking as it is on the inside. On the outside, looks like this. Aww. How adorable. That's right, the Demeritt Hill farm here in Lee, New Hampshire. By day, it's one of those cutesy little places that sells apple cider and has a little bakery and fun activities for the kids, fun pics with pumpkins, even an adorable little petting zoo. Behind the cutest little bouncy house you've ever seen, by night, becomes the most terrifying haunt ever. Haunted Overload. Look at this. Look at this new entrance they've built out here. This is awesome. What I love about Haunted Overload is that, like most haunts where you can't film at night for safety reasons, with one exception, which I'll get to later, Haunted Overload, unlike other haunts, allows you to purchase a ticket to walk the spooky trail in the daylight. Tickets we just happen to have. Now, we did come out here and film this last year, but the big difference is that last year, as I was entering Haunted Overload, I hadn't been at nighttime yet. I had no idea that when you passed this barrier here, that this whole trail leading into the haunt at nighttime is just the line. And let me tell you, at nighttime, this right here looks insane. It looks scary enough and insane enough to be an epic haunt all in its own right. Just look at this. Look at the size of these crazy jack-o'-lantern stickmen. They are enormous, and that's gonna be a running theme in Haunted Overload. I don't know what the largest haunt in terms of acreage is in the country, but this haunt has certainly got the largest props I've ever seen anywhere. I mean, look at this truck parked outside. This right here just looks like a scene from a horror movie all by itself. And this is just the line. It's not even really the line, it's just the entrance, just the beginning of the line. And then, of course, at night there are colored lights. The jack-o'-lantern heads are glowing. And sometimes Haunted Overload even has a headless horseman sitting out here on a live horse, just in the line area. Now, what you're going to see started all the way back in 2001 or so as a home haunt by a guy, or I should say by an artist called Eric Lowther, who had such big ideas, he eventually moved it to one farm and then finally to the Demeritt Hill farm here, where Haunted Overload has just grown and grown every year. And I mean literally grown. Look at this prop skeleton. That is normal human being height. And then look at the size of this thing. When I first entered this nightmarescape last year, it was during the daytime haunt like this, and I completely was convinced that this must be the beginning of Haunted Overload proper, that this would be the haunt. Because I mean, just look at this. Like I said, it looks like a movie set. It's incredible. Look at the scale of the props. And nothing is off the shelf. Everything has been customized or created by Eric Lowther and his team out here at Haunted Overload. But you're telling me this is just part of the line? When we finally did get in here on opening night last year, and I got to this area and saw the way it was all lit up with colored lights, I was like, man, they didn't even scan our tickets. And I was expecting scare actors to pop out at any moment, and it just never happened. There was just a line of people here slowly winding their way into the haunt. Oh my gosh. I had been told pictures were forbidden at night, but people were taking pictures of stuff like this. Allie and I were so utterly confused. Like, what in the world is going on? I mean, look at the scale of this. Look at the epic props. Look at this place. And it was like, are there no scare actors? I know there are scare actors. Where are they hiding? The massive scale of the sets here is so insane, so incredible. They're all carved out of like chainsaw cut pieces of wood by Eric Lowther and the team. We saw this giant sculpture last year and you're thinking, there's no way that's just part of a queue. I mean, just look at the size of it. And the crazy thing is, Haunted Overload is not set in stone. Well, it's set in wood for one thing, but it grows and changes every year. Look at this. Look at the size of that thing right there. That's gotta be 50 feet tall. That's a new creation coming together here for Haunted Overload. And look at this building, the sawmill. There was a sawmill last year when we were here, but not this one. I've been following them on Instagram all year long as they've rebuilt this entire structure from scratch, or well, from wood. Look at that old rusty blade in here. Look at the massive scale of it. It does look like an old abandoned sawmill left to rot in the woods. Oh my gosh, that got me. Things are gonna get me here, even in the daylight. Spoiler alert, it is scary no matter what time of day it is. And that's the thing, this line is actually genius. At first I was thinking, what a waste, you know? All these epic props, all these epic sets, and no scare actors in them, but what this does is fill you with such an insane sense of dread and fear because there's this weird loud ambiance playing out here. Even though there are colored lights and everything in this area, it is so dark it's hard to see. The lights are half the time shining in your face. There are obviously terrifying, bloody, gory, scary props everywhere. Look at somebody got locked in this boiler or cabinet or whatever in the world this is. And this is scary. If being hung up by the wrist wasn't embarrassing enough, this person's lost their underwear. And by the way, when I say there's no scare actors out here, there actually are scare actors walking up and down the line. I just mean not many, not like the full-fledged thing, not till you're inside. I can tell you, the sense of like ominous dread and fear that you get while you're waiting in this line because you're literally thinking, oh man, how much worse is it going to be inside when the actual haunt starts? Right? It's impossible to describe. And then you come out here and you're suddenly confronted with this. Look at the size and scale of that massive entrance. At night, there's a weird little laser light tunnel thing coming out of the throat of this multi-story giant specter of evil. Everyone is facing this way. You can't see much. The light's shining in your face. There's fog everywhere. So you're so blinded, you almost forget to turn around and see this. I mean, I'm 6 feet tall. This fence goes over my head. And look at the size of that demonic entity up there. It's enormous. I want to keep showing you guys clips from nighttime out here at Haunted Overload because they're so awesome looking, but as insane and epic looking as it is at night. I feel like Haunted Overload has the rare distinction of being equally epic looking and equally creepy in the daylight. The one exception, of course, being this area here, this little area of the line that has so many hand-carved actual jack-o'-lanterns. These are real pumpkins. And as you walk through here, you can actually smell them. You can smell that jack-o'-lantern Halloween odor as you make your way inside. But dude, look at this at night. Look at all these jack-o'-lanterns out here. It's unlike anywhere else you've ever been. I've never seen that many jack-o'-lanterns in one place, much less somewhere where it's so dark, so creepy. There's this ominous atmospheric music playing. I mean, this would be cool enough looking by itself, both at night and in the daytime, but then you look up and look at this. This is the scene I struggled with so much last year. Struggled with trying to find an angle that would give it some sense of scale. This thing is at least 40 feet high. Look at the size of that epic skull, all made out of chainsawed slivers of wood. Look at the way that it towers over that building next door, and these people down here walking underneath. Surely you would think this must be the entrance to Haunted Overload. No, this is all still just part of the line. In fact, they don't even scan your tickets until you get into this shack right over here. This shack that looks completely tiny underneath this huge skulking jack-o'-lantern thing. Everywhere you look, everything is built on such a huge epic scale. I mean, I throw around the word epic a lot. I mean, so do most people. But this is literally on an epic scale. And then you look behind you and you see something like this. What in the freaking world? That is the coolest photo op ever. Just the shack and the jack-o'-lanterns, to say nothing of the epic, insane rock-built castle over there, which is the actual entrance to Haunted Overload, the haunt portion. But of course, we're not there yet. We got to come up this winding, rickety thing right here, past the creepy, almost certainly haunted doll. This shack here, this is where they finally scan your tickets. There's a couple of witches in here behind where these ropes are now. They scan you in at night. They make nice little jokes about your appearance, get you ready for the frights, for the haunting. And then you're out of this shack, faced with another scene that could be an epic postcard haunted scene all of its own. Still seeing all these crazy, enormous sets in 360 degrees all the way around you. And this is where you meet the banjo players at night. Sitting here in these shacks, you got all kinds of creatures, both human and human-animal hybrid. That is an actual banjo that somebody plays at night with a spooky dead thing on it, a dead man thing.
The scary banjo.
That's the banjo.
There's a creepy, weird possum hybrid human thing out here by this still, and I don't know what they're cooking up, but it looks like it used to be human. All of this is stuff you just pass by quickly. You're not even in the haunt portion yet, and you're seeing all of this just out of the corner of your eye. The detail is out of control. Everywhere there are places for people to hide and pop out at you. You're definitely not safe, even here in the line area. And I should mention, by the way, that after you scan your tickets, this area here with all these sets all the way around you is your last chance to attempt to take pictures. It's the last place that photos are allowed at night. And there's other people everywhere. Everyone's trying to take pictures. There's fog. There's really weird lighting conditions. You can't take flash. It's just chaos. But that's all part of the fun. Everybody wants to get their pic in front of that jack-o'-lantern shack, and everybody wants to get their pic in front of the freaking epic Castle Grayskull out here, of course. Perhaps most of all, look at this shack with the face in it and the biggest jack-o'-lantern, I think, of the entire haunted overload. This is sort of the mascot for the whole operation. The Pumpkin King, if you will. Yes, sir. Last spot to dilly-dally and get photos before you have to put your phones away as you face the castle. And this is where the nightmares begin. This is where they space everybody out. This curtain is closed here, and they make you wait. There's a mannequin on this side, but over here in this throne sits an epic queen character who one by one, group by group, lets people in to the nightmare kingdom beyond. Dude, the mannequins out here, some of them are so lifelike. They freak me out even in the daytime. Consider that all that we're leaving behind, all of that was just the line. It's only now that Haunted Overload truly begins. And it gets freaking terrifying right away. Like, what would you even call this? A spider log skull monster creature? Look at this. First things first, we're in to the circus. All these people need some kind of help. Look, he's got the lobster hands. Oh no. And let me tell you what, at nighttime, this is so freaking dark. It is pitch black in here. You cannot see what is going on. You can't tell what's real and what's not real. I can't tell right now. I mean, this guy, he looks real. It's messed up because they put masks on these really realistic mannequins so they look like a scare actor. You know, I like taking photos and obviously video of everywhere I go, so I was bummed that you can't film the actual haunt, but once I came here, I realized why. It's so dark in those sort of scene transition areas, especially. You cannot see where you're going. It's super confusing, even if you're not looking at a screen or any light. There are tripping hazards everywhere. There are things to bump into, sharp things, fuzzy things, creepy things. But I did mention an exception to the no photo, no video rule, and that comes one night a year on something called Fright Night Lite, which happened to be last night as I'm recording this, where everything is theoretically set up and ready to go. The spooky lighting is on, some of the effects are on, but there's no scare actors to jump out and terrify you. That said, even on Fright Night Lite out here, where you're allowed to cheat and use your phone, and there's a lot of other people that are cheating and using their phone flashlights. It is dark, it is confusing, there are strobes, it's terrifying. In fact, I'll show you what walking over the same path we just did at Fright Night Lite looks like. Look at this. Oh my gosh, as you can see here, once you actually get into the haunt, it is so dark. You can't feel anything, you can't see anything. With the naked eye, you can just barely make out shapes. Allie's using her phone to get through here, and you are not allowed to do that during the real thing at all. I don't know if you can tell, but out here in the darkness, it is really dark. There are portions of this where there are no lights at all, and you're literally feeling your way through it. The rare exceptions are the strobe lights. It is terrifying. At least on Fright Night Lite, you're allowed to cheat with your cell phone light, right, Allie?
Yeah.
It's scary even without the jump scares, right?
Yes.
Terrifying. on. So if you see me cutting back and forth from day to night, all those nighttime shots were filmed at Fright Night Light, when you can cheat, when you can roam around. In fact, we filmed a lot of things last night. Oh, that looks unhealthy. And a lot of creepy, dark places where I was like, Allie, can you please turn on your phone? I can't see where I'm going. And there's no scare actors. You don't even have that kind of thing going on. Dude, look at this. These are all life-size mannequins here. And look at the scale of these sets, most of which you can't even see in the dark. You only feel them above you because you're focused on where you're stepping. You're focused on something jumping out at you. You're focused on figuring out where the heck to go. And I'll tell you what else. The whole time you're out here at Haunted Overload, there's these crazy sounds playing, like this ominous, droning, loud noise you can probably hear in those nighttime clips. I've been to a lot of really big budget haunts at all kinds of places, theme parks and everything else, and there's something about the Haunted Overload soundtrack and the way they space out the speakers, and sometimes it gets super loud. It just fills you with terror. I mean, Allie, what percentage of the stuff in here, like this scarecrow, would you say you can actually see at night?
It's so dark, you can hardly see anything most of the time.
That's what I'm saying. So when something is over to the side like this, it might be a person. It likely is a person usually. Oh my gosh, this is so nuts over here. I mean, I was thinking last night, oh, I'm gonna use a lot of the Fright Night Light footage out here. But actually, as I'm walking around, it might be even better looking in the daytime. It is hard to tell. One thing's for sure, at nighttime, you cannot see these black fences back there. You can't see, you can see some of the props in the background, some of the other buildings. You can't see any of that. You are so focused on what's ahead. These black chainsaw cut fences are so good at keeping you hemmed in and just feeling like that's the edge of the universe. And the only thing out here is you and the creepy props that surround you. It's terrifying. I don't know how else to explain it. Now, I'm just going to say this for the record, too. I'm aware that there are more extreme haunts. There are places that'll tie you down and tase you and do God knows what to you. They'll actually touch you and things. For some people, that's their definition of terrifying, so they're going to hear me describe this and go, what? Come on, man. It's more terrifying where they punch you in the face or whatever. To me, that's not terrifying. That's just annoying and, maddening. To me, what makes something really scary is when they get your own imagination working against you. And I have a pretty overactive imagination as it is, trust me. And so Haunted Overload genuinely terrified me last year, even though earlier in the day, we had walked through all of this in the daylight. I knew the layout last year. I knew where most of the mannequins were. I filmed a whole video, a whole walkthrough thing. We came through that line and there were lights on out there and all that stuff. And once we got to places like this where it is absolutely pitch black, dark at night, and you can't really see much of anything, just the sort of vague outlines of shrouded figures and little bits of light through the cracks in the fences and all that kind of stuff, I was filled with an unholy terror. I couldn't even handle it. It was nuts. Thing is, though, and I hope you don't mind me cutting back and forth between daytime and nighttime. I know it's a little disorientating, but so is being here, whether you're here at day or night. I spent basically a whole year just thinking about Haunted Overload, and even though it's super terrifying, and I don't love being, terrified, it's also just super unique. I mean, I've never been any other place like this in my life, and it's super creative. And that is what I love about it. Every corner you come around, it's like stepping on to a movie set, or more like a scene from a nightmare, from a dream. I mean, look at this. There is something so otherworldly about this scenario, and we're about to see my favorite part of Haunted Overload of all, the epic, freaking haunted house. This is my favorite view in the entire place. Would you look at the size of this thing? It is actually built full scale. That is not a forced perspective facade. That thing is actually 4 and maybe a half stories tall. Before I ever actually managed to physically come to Haunted Overload myself, I kept on seeing, and I know I've told this story before, I kept on seeing pictures of this haunted house everywhere. Like, look at this abandoned house in the woods. People found this creepy house. Can you believe this exists? Well, technically, it's not a real abandoned house. They built this from scratch out here. But it sure as heck looks real. And it's surrounded by little outbuildings and barns and shacks and tombstones and this scary lady over here. The bride who's getting ready to go to this church. There's a full-on church back there. And all of it is out here nestled among real actual trees. And as you can see, when it's fall out here and there are leaves on the ground and leaves changing color up there, it just looks epic. When I first saw the pictures of this thing, when they built this thing out here, I was like, I'm going out there one day. I am going to that. I had my whole trip planned and booked, and I was ready to go in 2020. And then, well, we all know how 2020 went. I was stoked to come out here last year and get like that picture, that iconic picture in front of this house. Little did I know that it was even more epic and insane looking in the half dark. So they don't even really point the lights directly at the house. They just let a flood of colored lights from other creepy areas and haunted overload wash over it lightly. So even in the context of the haunt, with the lights out here, with the scare actors, it looks completely abandoned. I mean, I know there are places in the world where people have come upon abandoned houses like this, and I would love to see an abandoned house for real out in the woods. I'd just be scared that somebody was living in it. This thing is incredible. Dude, forget making a movie about the Haunted Mansion. Somebody needs to make a movie based on Haunted Overload. It is nuts. You need to hire Eric to do your concept artwork all out of chainsawed wood. Not to mention hiring the whole team at Haunted Overload to create your props. Because everything from the coffins to the tombstones to the dummies, it all looks so freaking awesome. It doesn't look real. It looks better than real. It looks like a nightmare, you know, distorted somehow by fear and anxiety. Then you add the real fear and anxiety to it, and oh my gosh, you're in for a horrible, frightening ride. Here's the thing, dude. We love standing out here in front of this epic haunted house. And we've been out here for quite a while, actually, off camera, taking pictures, getting some fun ones to send to grandma, taking little videos and stuff like that. It's just fun. And it's just so iconic. It's so epic looking, like, oh my gosh, we're finally back at Haunted Overload. But as I learned last year, the real terror from this abandoned haunted house is when you get inside. Oh, that's right. It's not just a facade. Once you come around the barns that look out over the screams of other people running around out there, which, by the way, is another absolutely terrifying thing about Haunted Overload, is that all around you in the night you can hear people screaming and you can't see what in the world is going on. You get to enter this haunted house, which is dark enough by daylight. I mean, look at this. It's freaking terrifying. Look at the holes in the roof and the tree growing through it, the rotted out couch and the bride here. It's even more terrifying at night. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Walking through this thing at night is like walking through a horror movie, walking through a nightmare. I'm trying to think of more ways to describe it to you. I really am trying to find the words. I just can't. It's too crazy. It's too insane. But walking through it in the daytime, it's no picnic either, because then you can see that there are real spider webs in here, real critters living in this place, real fungi growing in here. Look at the props of the mannequins rotting away in the New Hampshire weather. And then this room right here, which you can see a little bit on camera, and you saw at night. I can't even see in here with my naked eye. I can just see that bride. It is totally black in there. I am scared to go in there and the rest of this haunted house in the daylight. It's daylight. It's a little cloudy, but it's daylight. I will not go in there. Not without Allie. And not without a flashlight. Allie? Allie? What you doing, taking cute pics?
Yeah.
I need you. I'm scared. Protect me. It was a lot friendlier looking in there at night, even with those little candles on. In the daytime, it looks way too real, dude. It looks like a real abandoned house. Okay, good. With 2 flashlights, I can kind of almost see where I'm stepping. Dude, this is so freaky in here. Luckily, some small children just came through here and weren't scared, and made me feel like, oh, okay, I can do it. I can do this. Look at this. There were some girls in here, and one girl was hiding in there and scared her friends and screaming, and that's why I had to go back and see Allie. I don't think I could have faced Grandma alone. Oh, Lordy. I know. Look at that one. She looks like every mean teacher I ever had. What?
Especially in the dark, like when you just like are walking by.
I know.
They look like they're just looking at you.
Look at this with the flashlight off. Pitch freaking black. Let's turn that back on. Okay. Yeah. It's crazy that it's brighter during the haunt at night. All right, here we go. Past all the scary photos. They got a lot of actual Victorian, not alive people photos in here. And it gets a little better. But what I love is how three-dimensional everything is. We met a guy who helped build some of this stuff earlier, and he was saying that one of these rooms had like a cool hologram or a projection where there was a lady and she's upstairs, she's like dropping her baby on you. But look at this. Haunted Mansion, eat your heart out. Look at that organ player. And look at these window coffins. That was a real thing in the Victorian times. And what's crazy is these might be real coffins for all we know. We've been traveling through New Hampshire a lot lately, the last couple of days. And there's a ton of antique stores, and you wouldn't believe the stuff they've got sitting around back east. I know a few people who own coffins on the West Coast, but they're the exceptions. They're the freaks and the weirdos like me. The goth people, the punk people, the people into horror movies and stuff. Here, it's like every cutesy little antique store's like, oh, look, a baby's coffin, and it looks like it could have been used. Oh, good old New England, full of terrors. Okay, now the crazy part is, you see all this, you see these little passageways and tunnels, and look, there's mannequins back there. You might not even see that in the dark, like I was saying. And also, there are a ton of places where there aren't scare actors popping out at you. There are some spots where they do the old pop-out routine, bang on a wall, scream, whatever. But what made this place so intense, and I think a lot of home haunters and a lot of people who are into this stuff will get a kick out of this, a lot of them just stand out here. Like, a lot of the scare actors just stand between these other props and mannequins. You'll see them move and then hold still, and then you're walking through not knowing who or what is real or what's going to move. Like here, for example, they might have two guys dressed like this, or they might just have a goat person, you never know. And you might just come by, you think it's a mannequin, and then it'll just whisper to you like, get out, or run away. Oh, freak, you flippin' dinner roll. That was the scariest part, right? Remember that last year, Allie? Like, it's so horrible when they just whisper at you, I see you, and stuff like that, and you're just in here. And there's other ones where people are screaming, so it's weird. There's like a whole performance art element of it. See, look at this. Look how the eye is just not covered. I don't know if you guys can see that eye there. Creepy, man. Eric and the team could do a master class in how to dress props for a haunt, because I've been a lot of places. I know some of my home haunts, the ones at home, theme park ones, are upping their games. Like Not Scary Farm really upped their game this year. I got a couple of videos of, oh my gosh, again. I'm doing this new show, randomly on location with a microphone, Hillhauser style, and we go and talk to some haunt designers and get all the behind the scenes look with the lights on. And I just did a couple of those. They're really upping their game, but there's something about these ones left to rot out here in the woods all year long. Especially on structures like this, which, I mean, we've been driving around and seeing all these old dilapidated barns collapsed by snow and stuff like that. This is exactly what they look like. It's awful. It's great, and it's horrible, and it's terrifying, and it's wonderful. Look at this. I don't even remember coming back through here last night, Allie. I know we did, but it's just, even at night, with other people around, even the day with other people around, some of this is really scary. Oh my gosh. When they have actresses out here sitting there also made up kind of like this, screaming and being like, let me go. And then you're walking through all these and you don't know who's going to move. It actually makes the daytime scarier once you've been here at night. I know you're not supposed to touch anything, but I just want to Are you real or... There's this over here. I keep getting got by the same ones that got me at night and in the daytime. And oh, look, he's got a spider eye. A spider web thing for an eye. Don't you like that? Oh, watch out. He's going to get you. Look, someone alley-sized. Aw. You could be a ghost out here one day. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Look at this. Anyway, yeah, that's the main thing. That was the main takeaway from actually coming at night last year, and the main difference walking through here. Walking through here last year, and this was the new thing last year, this big marquee, like 50-foot or whatever it is, gigantic demon thing with its wings out. Last year, I assumed that every little shack, every little section would have its own kind of lighting design. It would be lit. You would be able to see everything. There'd be people popping out at you. And then to actually come and you walk through some sections and it's just silent. All you're hearing is screams from other places. You know there are live people and they are just standing there silently watching you. Yeah. It's intense. And by the way, this area with this big demon thing right here is terrifying. Not because there's anybody out here, Not because anything moves, but because inside of here must be the biggest subwoofers in New England. Because when you walk out here, that ambience is so loud it hurts your ears. We were allowed to take pictures last night. I was like, Al, you want your pictures? Like, no, it hurts.
I can feel it like in my chest.
Oh yeah, you can feel it deep. And I think that's part of it. They must have subwoofers hidden out here or something because it's so bassy. It gives you like horrible anxiety. When you're far away from the speakers, you don't know why you've got the anxiety. Then you get closer and closer. You go, oh, that's it. There's really loud, really scary, deep music. And then this dude, Death Junction in here, scared me last year to the core of my bones, even though I should have known what was coming. Because you come in here and you see this epic freaking huge train, and then BAM! There's a mannequin, and then BAM! There's a huge bright light and a loud train noise. Oh my God, it's a double whammy. And if there happens to be any actors or talent in here, it's a triple whammy. Look at the Haunted Overload pumpkin face, the old mascot. He's everywhere out here, dude. Allie keeps taking her little tripod and like taking photos and stuff like that and having fun, making little videos. Cause she makes videos and stuff on TikTok and everything. She even edits my videos and puts them on TikTok. I'm more of an Instagram guy myself. I think I'm a little bit of a Luddite. Getting old, too old for the talking and ticking. I can barely get my heart to tick and talk these days. And every time she stays behind for a minute, I said, cool, I'll go on ahead. I'll get some footage or whatever. And then it only takes 5 minutes or so before I'm like, oh, Allie, you want to come over here in this dark hallway with me, please? Dude, look at the size of that whole freaking train up there. At first I thought maybe it was a real locomotive. Then I could see it's a prop locomotive. They built that thing. Look at the size of that pumpkin they're building over there. I feel like they're building like the world's biggest jack-o'-lantern, world's tallest jack. I mean, that thing is going to be huge if it's a jack-o'-lantern. That's what I'm thinking. All right, into the mine. Remember they got me. They dropped me good in the mine last year. Oh!
That guy's scary.
Yeah. They're about to drop me in the mine right now. I just remember looking at the mannequin and thinking like, oh boy. And I knew there were little side tunnels. I knew there were dudes in here. But at night, as you can see here in the Fright Night Light footage, when it's all dark, you got that loud ambience because we're still pretty close to those speakers. You don't know where guys are coming from. I don't know, it's disorientating. Even if you walk through in the day, you don't know which way you're supposed to go. You pop out of something like this, there's another tunnel behind you, and you're thinking, am I supposed to go, was I supposed to go, oh, and then you go this way, and there's a guy in here, and I don't know, something about the lights at night. Terrifying. And of course, there's scare actors in here too, which doesn't help at all. And that's the thing about Haunted Overload. It's not just black hallways, it's not pop-out windows, it's none of the tropes and things that I've learned to expect from going to other haunted events. It is 360 degrees of weird angles, of weird pieces of cut wood, of actual real-life spider webs and leaves and things to trip on and bark and just the craziest, weirdest sets ever. The angles, man, the angles of everything really get you. And this scene right here last night, oh man. When you see this in the dark, this will get you. And I remember walking through at night, and I'm talking about during the actual haunt itself, and coming between these like white shrouded skeleton things, and expecting scare actors. I don't think there were any. I think there were just a few people in the background just whispering and saying things. Oh man, that is just not right. Oh, Eric and the team, you guys are demented in a fun way. In a fun way. It's weird, though, that in the day it's like, it's fun for the whole family. It's so strange. And look at this through the corn. You can see there's that giant lizard from the entrance. Oh, my gosh. I've never seen a layout of this, like an overhead map or anything. I don't think one exists. But if it does, it's got to look so twisted because they do such a good job. You have no idea where in space you even are. But yeah, the 360, and look at this. You can't freaking see all that in the dark. The stalactites of wood up there, you can't see it. You more just feel it. You're not looking up anyways. You're looking down. You're looking around every corner at the shrouded guys. Speaking of corners, look, there are just little nooks and crannies for people to hide everywhere. Just imagine coming through this in the dark, you know? People are screaming. The children are screaming. It's awesome. Man, I meant to come back because I did such a thorough walkthrough last year. I just kind of quickly show you whatever was new and stuff. The problem is the whole thing is kind of new because every year they change it a little bit. They add a little bit. I follow them on Instagram. And like I was saying to one of the guys who does some work out here, I can see them when the snow isn't even melted yet. They've already started work on the next year's Haunted Overload. Plus, the weather, the elements, they all take their toll. They make everything look a little bit different. Oh my gosh. The freaking mannequin got me, Allie. She got me. Or the womankin, the Anakin, I don't know. Look at this, look at this. Do you see what I'm saying about nightmares? In what twisted world does anything like this exist? You'll never find this in a forest. You'll never find this anywhere but a comic book, a horror movie, or the mind and imagination of Eric Lowther. All right, I could go back that way to get the money shot of the village, or through here. Hallie went this way. Let's just, it's not cool. You're not nice. It's so wrong in here. Look at all the leaves and stuff, fresh branches, and there's spider webs everywhere. Ugh. And you come out of these things, which are pitch black dark at night, into this. And trust me, it doesn't look any friendlier at night. In fact, this whole witchy area is terrifying at night, and I kept having Allie turn on and off her flashlight through these little buildings in here because you couldn't see anything. I thought it would be neat to compare them in the daytime, but even in the daytime, you can't see anything. Allie, come back! Don't leave me! Oh my gosh! Oh, Allie! Allie? Oh, that's too scary, dude. That thing got me good. Okay, you're giggling, but it's not funny. Scary. Okay, gotta come through here, past the creepy antelope, goat, head, skull man. Loving this part all of a sudden.
I'm in my witch dress.
Oh. So that makes it okay if you're in your witch dress, you like have special power. That got me too. Special powers of not being frightened by horrifying scenes. Oh, look. You're like kin. Gosh, I just noticed I gotta come back in here. Look at these bottles, dude. They're actually full of like gross, creepy, witchy stuff. Man, this is the kind of place that after I come check it out, I feel like I need to go take a bath in holy water. Ugh. Look at that. And you just come on like whole shacks and whole scenes, big areas like this. You don't walk through that. That's not part of the trail. I mean, you could get to it if you really want to. Oh, look at some good witches. Flora, fauna, and Merryweather. We're going to be okay. They're going through and making it safe for us. Oh, look at the face in that. What's that called, that condition where the human brain sees faces and everything, even where there aren't faces? It's like pareidolia, something like that. It's the effect they're trying to replicate by doing the Haunted Mansion wallpaper and stuff like that. And it has all the spooky faces. Well, Eric takes that to the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level. Well, Allie noticed that the three witches, they were taking pictures two at a time. So she's gone. The little black witch is going to help the colorful witches get a witchy fun pic. She's not a real witch. She just plays one on TV. But she's the sweetest witch of them all. She's the good witch of the east or north or wherever the good witch is from. Oh, look at this guy in here. This is his home, dude. His home, and he doesn't want anyone coming in. Stay off my lawn, he says.
Actually, I quite enjoy company.
Look at this. Look at the crazy Dutch angles that everything is at. Why is it called Dutch angles? Are they really bad at building buildings or something? Or just bad at holding cameras? What's up with the Dutch, man? What's up with the Dutch? Oh, what's up with all the witches leaving me? Help! Oh, snap. Look up in that window. There's a face up there. I never noticed that before. You see? You would never see that at night. You would never notice that. And yet, there are all kinds of faces around you. It's more subconscious terror than anything. And that's why I find it so frightening. I mean, they really get you in the brain. Where'd the face go? Oh, I don't like that at all. I don't like the way it disappears when you get closer. See, look at this little hidey hole for some victims. Speaking of which, have you ever heard about that old thing in the Long Beach Pike where there was an actual mummified corpse? Oh, hello there. See the thing with the masks and the eyeballs underneath the masks? Okay, effective. Anyway, there was this fun house on the Long Beach Pike over by the Long Beach Convention Center, where that is today. Used to be an old like haunt walkthrough thing, a year-round one, and they had actually accidentally purchased a real mummified human body, and nobody noticed it in there until they were filming the $6 Million Man, I believe, inside of that place. And they went to go move it, and the arm fell off, and there was a bone inside. Turns out it was a criminal from Oklahoma, Elmer McCurdy, something like that. Anyway, what got me thinking of that, a morbid story, was I was just thinking they got to be careful at Haunted Overload. Some of these props look so real. You could probably hide a real victim out here, and no one would ever know. Oh, there goes one of the good witches. I wish they were still back here because this church is scary. And by the way, last night I made a new friend at church in there because even though it was Fright Night Light, there was one creature of the night going bump. Whoa! Oh, something moved. Only one thing. Oh, that's all it took.
On Main Event Night?
Yeah, last year.
Oh, so I bet you've seen me bouncing around.
Yeah. I thought that wasn't supposed to happen. Fright Night Light my foot. All it takes is one ghoul or goblin, or in this case, goat. And then I couldn't trust the rest of Fright Night Light. I was pretty terrified from here all the way to the end. We're pretty close to the end here, actually. Pretty close. I remember this church being completely different last year. I don't know if I'm just thinking of this like sort of little altar pulpit thing up here. I kind of remember there being like a big table and people being on it. It's one of those things where it's good that I came last year and this year because I'm looking forward to comparing the two videos and seeing what exactly has changed, man. Because this place is full of trickery. Look at all these skeletons and look at the evolution. Look at this. As the bag begins to decay and decay and decay until nothing's left but bones. I see what you did there, guys. I see. And look at this. Mike and Sully made a mess. Look at all these doors. I think I might have actually said the same thing last night walking through here. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Where are Mike and Sully when you need them? I tend to repeat myself sometimes. These are the jokes, kids. Oh, what just happened? We walked back through the church to take a picture with Allie and the lights came on. Okay, that's weird. Someone's either testing the lights or one of these things is haunted. Help. Dude, that is weird. Oh, I can see the lights are on everywhere. What in the heck? That would have been useful in the haunted house a little while ago. Come on, man. I don't think the lights are supposed to be on at all. Maybe they're working on stuff and testing it because tonight is the opening night of the actual haunt itself. And we will be out here in the dark once again when you're not allowed to film. And I honestly don't even want to come because I came last night for Fright Night Light. I'm like, it was scary enough for me.
But not for me.
That's because you grew up in Yuba City. After that, nothing is scary to you. Just kidding. In reality, Allie does go through like Universal Studios or Knott's Scary Farm, and she's always like, nah, it's not really that scary. You know, a couple things got me with the jump scares, but she never really feels like terrified or anything like that, right?
Just the loud sounds make me scream.
But last year, when we came out here, I was like, okay, go ahead of me a little bit because I'm kind of scared because I'm always scared of these things. I'm never trying to pretend like I'm cool and tough. And you were like, no. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what? And then you did get kind of in front of me and I had to hold you. And then at one point you just broke free and just ran. You just ran and left me alone. She literally just bolted down the path and it's dark and I can see there's rocks everywhere, children popping out of the ground, and this baby, look at this baby. That is an ugly baby. And I'm like, come on, don't leave me. She didn't care. She left me. She left me. What is it about haunted overload that scares you more than some of the big boys?
I don't know, it's just really dark and nobody's like really jumping out at you, so you don't know, like, it's only every once in a while, I feel like.
That people scream and stuff. I think
Yeah.
in here there were people screaming.
So I feel like I get more tense in here, like, oh, is someone gonna pop out?
Yeah, there's so much more build up.
Yeah.
And this thing takes, I don't know how long to walk through. In fact, we're about to the end of this. We're almost to the very end. Oh, look, the Annabelle cabinet. That's always nice to have in your little doll home. Good thing somebody loved these dolls once. Oh, was Sid out here or what? Anyway, like I was saying, we're pretty much at the end of the trail here at Haunted Overload. But before we completely say goodbye, we're gonna walk all the way back through it with a timer to see how fast you can walk through here straight without stopping. Because believe me, when you're doing it for real, you have absolutely no sense of time. Fright Night Light, same thing. And the day haunt, same thing, because you're stopping, you're taking pictures, you're looking, you're blown away, your mind is all warped and wefted and weird. This is the finale. You come around these gates at night, and not only are these lights on these trucks, and there's these huge spotlight front lights in your face, they're playing these like sirens of dread. I think I got a little bit of that sound last night too. I don't like it. It's so loud. You can neither see anything or hear anything because the sirens, and you're like, is it still gonna keep going? And if you aren't in the know, you just think, oh my gosh, how much longer is this gonna take? Anyway, that is the end. And the only change out here since last year to the ending is that this year they've added a haunted overload photo booth. And at night, there are people out here taking pictures with like a tablet or something that's connected to one of these wooden beams. Also at night, unlike Fright Night Light, I can't say that. This little shack down the hill opens up as sort of the impromptu haunted overload gift shop. Well, I guess not impromptu, it's always the haunted overload gift shop. I can't think, there are too many voices everywhere. We got some great stuff in there, some spooky merch, and spooky merch is always cool. Speaking of spooky merch, we also have some spooky merch. We got the Randomland Fright shirts and tote bags on the website, store.randomland.com. We got randomland.com for all of your links and Randomland needs. It has links to Patreon. It's the only way we can get around this crazy world. We've got links to the sick merch, to our Facebook group if you want to leave a comment that someone will actually see and reply to. You know, a human conversation where people are actually nice to you. That's why you don't see a lot of comments down below. Oh, ho, ho. But you can give us a like, right? That'd be nice. Give us a like if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, give us a like. Show us who's boss. And that's it, guys. Now all we have to do is find somewhere to wait out this remaining daylight, and then we're coming back to Haunted Overload for the real thing. I better bring extra pants in the car, dude, because it is freaking scary out here. I'm having said all that, and now having returned to Haunted Overload 2 years in a row. Not bad, not bad at all. We've done our duty. You can go home and sleep well. Bye-bye. Future Justin here. So we did walk through as fast as we possibly could from the end to the castle. It takes about 10 minutes going as fast as humanly possible. No people, no scare actors, no darkness. At night, it takes about 25 minutes to walk through Haunted Overload. Not counting the line part with your scare actors. It's spooky and stuff like that. So it's kind of about, I'd say about an hour and a half experience total coming at night. Super worth the cost of admission. Highly recommended. Here's a whole bunch of clips from Fright Night Lite. We're doing the speed walk through here, and I'm like walking through as fast as I can to see how long it takes. I'm timing it or whatever. When I turn around, and Allie pulled that thing out of her pocket from the bakery here. What is that?
French toast bread. French
toast bread. All right, guys. Here are a bunch of clips from last night, Fright Night Lights. There might be more lights on tonight than there were when we walked through the haunt itself last year. This is terrifying. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. There's definitely more light out here tonight than there is in the real thing. Oh! See? You can't see anything. Fudge, dude. That is creepy. Oh, do we have to come back when there's scary people here? Oh, I remember this, the graveyard. Oh my gosh, Allie. You look so spooky.
Yeah.
Ready?
Where's the button?
Oh, this is the worst part right here. When you enter the dark house. It is so scary. This is where you enter the house. I forgot about this. Oh, you can't even see up there. Oh. Allie, where are you? Allie? Allie? Oh my gosh. Don't do that. Scared me. Oh. Ooh. Shine your light. Look at that. You can't see anything. Oh my gosh. I could not see. It's so impossible to explain to people like how little you can actually see. Dude, the brightness of this is all the way down and it's still like insanely like blinding. Twice right here. Hello. Don't do that. Oh, I hate that. Not cool, haunted overload. Little surprises, eh? Little surprise. Oh no. Allie, look. I don't like it. Now I don't even trust Fright Night Light. Never again. Oh my god! I hate it. I'm not even going to use remotely close to all this. I just want it, you know?